Hi there, Pasha is here. In this video, I would like to talk about media content consumers, those who have addiction towards content, and whether it's a good or bad thing. This video ties into the previous one where I discussed the new breed of people that have spun up in the 20th century, which I initially called junkies, for their addiction towards TV shows, towards media. A friend of mine, a good friend of mine, Brian, suggested a better word: consumers. Consumers is a much less attached word, has less stigma, and I would like to use it. So let's talk about consumers. I myself have been an avid consumer of video games for a long, long time. I have a 25-year plus history of gaming, and it started from basic games and then turned into competitive games, and then I made a lot of friends, and I had a lot of fun in a way. So looking back through all these years, I feel like it was worth it. I feel like everything I've done, including gaming, including all those countless hours I spent in gaming, were not wasted time. It was time filled with some purpose and time filled with some joy. More importantly, I think people who do consume content, they have a choice, and they choose to watch TV shows, they choose to play games, and they have freedom for that choice. They have the right to choose for themselves. They have the right to live their lives the way they want. And after all, if those choices make people happy, if those choices make people satisfied with their lives, then that must be totally fine. There's nobody out there who would be qualified to judge those people. Meaning, if a person feels good doing what he's doing, then of course it's good, right? However, there's one thing here which came to me recently, one argument to that statement. The argument is as following: do we really see all the options that we can choose from? When we choose to watch TV shows, when we choose to play games, do we really understand what are the trade-offs? What are we not doing? What are we missing out on? And I think the easy answer is, of course not. Of course, we can't know all the possibilities. But what's clear to me is the content, the accessibility of it, the sheer volume and variety of the content. It makes it very easy to consume it without afterthought. It makes it very easy to be happy with your choice without making one. There is definitely an illusion of a choice there, and not an illusion, it's actual choice of what content do we consume. There's so much content out there, so much content. My entire life I've been collecting notes, long lists of notes on what movies I would like to watch eventually, what books I would like to read eventually, what games I would like to play eventually. I still have those lists. Those lists are massive, and over years they've only been getting bigger and bigger. However, now I don't look at those lists, and I don't expect myself to look at those lists ever. So what am I now? And what happened? Currently, I experience something that I like to call a second birth, but in a good way, in a way of like a child when he just comes to the world. He's very curious about everything. Naturally, he doesn't have to be told to be curious. He's just curious. That's how he is. That's how I feel. Also, child is very brave. He just goes and tries things, and if things don't work out well, then he learns those lessons. He learns on his own mistakes and tries other things. So that's how I feel right now. And when you get into this state of mind, you suddenly realize that the options are limitless, and those options are not just passive options like sitting on a couch and choosing which TV show to see next. Those options are like who to speak with, what activity to engage, what to learn next, who to become. Those choices, they are a lot more deep and scary sometimes, because what's scary in watching or in choosing which TV show to watch? It's very safe environment. You just click your remote, and if you don't like the show, you see the other show, and so on. Or same with any other content. However, the choices I'm making are a lot more far-reaching. The choices about my health, the choices about my relationships, the choices about my future. So, for you, all the consumers out there, I have this message. Try to pause for a moment, try to look around, and think what are the other options you have for your time. Because time is the most precious thing